The first time Emily Carter met Daniel Brooks, everyone in the hospital cafeteria expected to laugh. The whispers had started days earlier. The rookie nurse thinks she can handle anything. She's too cheerful. Let's see how she deals with this. A few jealous coworkers secretly arranged for Emily to have lunch with Daniel, a quiet former Navy SEAL who volunteered at the Veterans Rehabilitation Center connected to the hospital. Daniel had lost most of his hearing during a combat mission years earlier. He communicated through hearing aids, lip reading, and sign language. The co-workers assumed Emily would become uncomfortable, embarrass herself, and give them something to gossip about for weeks. Instead, what happened next changed the entire hospital forever. Emily had only been working at St. Matthew Medical Center for 3 weeks. At 24 years old, she was passionate about caring for people. She stayed late to comfort frightened patients, remembered everyone's names, and somehow always managed to smile, even during 12-hour shifts. Not everyone appreciated that. Some veteran nurses believed Emily made them look lazy. Others simply disliked how quickly patients trusted her. When they heard Daniel volunteered every Thursday, they decided to play what they called a harmless joke. Emily walked into the cafeteria carrying her lunch tray. She noticed a tall, athletic man sitting alone near the window. His posture was perfect despite a slight limp. His eyes constantly scanned the room with quiet awareness. One nurse pointed toward him. "That's Daniel. He's waiting for someone." Emily smiled. "Thanks." She walked over confidently. "Excuse me. Is this seat taken?" Daniel looked up but didn't answer immediately. Emily noticed the hearing aids behind his ears. Instead of repeating herself louder, she gently stepped into his line of sight and spoke clearly. "May I sit here?" Daniel smiled warmly. "Of course." Across the cafeteria, several nurses exchanged disappointed looks. "So far, so good," one whispered. Lunch began with simple conversation. Emily asked about his volunteer work. Daniel explained he spent time encouraging wounded veterans adjusting to civilian life. He had served 12 years as a Navy SEAL before an explosion during a rescue mission permanently damaged his hearing. Emily listened without interrupting. She didn't pity him. She respected him. Daniel noticed. "So," he asked, "aren't you curious what happened to my hearing?" Emily nodded. "But only if you want to tell me." He smiled. "Most people ask within 30 seconds. My grandmother always told me people are more than the hardest thing that's happened to them." For a moment, Daniel simply stared. No one had ever answered like that. Meanwhile, the group of nurses kept watching, waiting for something awkward. It never came. Over the next several weeks, Daniel continued volunteering every Thursday, and Emily often joined him during lunch. He taught her basic American Sign Language. She helped organize activities for injured veterans recovering in the rehabilitation wing. Patients noticed something special. Whenever Daniel entered a room, veterans who rarely smiled suddenly came alive. Emily watched him patiently encourage amputees learning to walk again, comfort soldiers struggling with trauma, and remind each person that their life still mattered. One afternoon she quietly asked him, "How do you always know exactly what to say?" Daniel looked toward the therapy gym. "Because I've needed someone to say those words to me." That answer stayed with Emily. Months passed. Then one winter morning everything changed. A charter bus carrying disabled veterans slid off an icy highway. More than 20 injured patients were rushed to St. Matthew Medical Center. The emergency department exploded into controlled chaos. Doctors ran between trauma rooms. Nurses prepared operating suites. Family members crowded the waiting areas. Emily worked non-stop. Then someone shouted, "We need more staff in Trauma 3. Emily rushed inside. One elderly veteran had become terrified. His hearing aids had been damaged during the crash. He couldn't understand anyone. Doctors struggled to explain emergency surgery. The patient grew increasingly frightened. Emily immediately knew who could help. She grabbed her phone. Daniel, we need you." 25 minutes later, Daniel arrived wearing jeans and a winter jacket. Without hesitation, he entered the trauma room. Using sign language, written notes, eye contact, and years of experience working with injured veterans, he slowly reassured the frightened man. Within minutes, the patient nodded. He understood. He agreed to the surgery that ultimately saved his life. Doctors watched in amazement. One surgeon quietly whispered, "We couldn't have done this without him." News of Daniel's actions spread throughout the hospital. The same coworkers who had tried to humiliate Emily now stood silently in the hallway. One nurse finally admitted, "We thought this lunch would embarrass her." Another looked down. "Instead, she made us realize how small we've been." Weeks later, the hospital board announced a new veterans communication program. Daniel was invited to train medical staff in deaf awareness, communication techniques, and respectful patient care. Emily volunteered to help lead every session. Soon every nurse learned basic sign language. Patient satisfaction improved dramatically. Veterans reported feeling understood for the first time in years. One afternoon, the hospital hosted an appreciation ceremony. Doctors, nurses, therapists, patients, and dozens of veterans filled the auditorium. The hospital director stepped onto the stage. "We planned today's ceremony to honor our volunteers." He smiled toward Daniel. But something unexpected happened. He invited Emily to join him. When Emily first arrived, some people underestimated kindness. They believed compassion was weakness. The room grew silent. But compassion built a bridge no amount of experience alone could build. Then the director surprised everyone. He played a video. One by one, veterans spoke about Daniel and Emily. "You reminded me I wasn't forgotten. You gave me hope. You treated us like family. You saved more than our bodies." Many people in the audience wiped away tears. Finally, Daniel walked to the microphone. He removed his prepared speech from his pocket. Then folded it back up. Instead, he looked directly at Emily. "I've led dangerous missions around the world. I've worked beside extraordinary people. But the bravest person I've met wasn't on a battlefield." He smiled. She was a rookie nurse who sat down beside a stranger because she believed everyone deserved kindness. The audience rose to its feet. The standing ovation lasted several minutes. Emily felt overwhelmed. Not because she had received praise, but because one simple decision to treat someone with dignity instead of judgment had changed countless lives. The coworkers who once mocked her became some of her closest teammates. They apologized sincerely. Emily accepted without resentment. Because she believed people could grow when given grace. Years later, new nurses arriving at St. Matthew Medical Center heard the story of the rookie nurse and the deaf Navy SEAL. It wasn't remembered as a prank. It became a lesson taught during orientation. Never assume someone's worth based on what you first see. The strongest people often carry invisible scars. The kindest hearts often change the most lives. And sometimes, the moment meant to humiliate someone becomes the very moment that inspires an entire community to choose compassion instead.